Hi, it's me again with Corel Draw Tips and Tricks, and I normally do not promote products, and they did not ask me to promote this. I have this item, and I love it, and today I put it really the first time to a real job and real use, and it saved me so much time. It's a product called Nameit, Number It, and Batch It. I use the Nameit. This all three cost $169. And I would bet I probably saved that much money today because it made life so much easier. I had to write or engrave on 70, and I'm sorry about the picture, 7 of these front of these plaques that I custom made out of mesquite. And I made a jig to hold the plaque so that front edge would be level with the laser. I've even got a piece, and I'm sorry about the quality of the picture. I took it with my phone. And I've even got a stop, so it stops there, and I just place it in there. And here's a picture of it. I put the red dot pointer in that very top corner. And normally I do not make my page size the size of my work. I make it the size of my laser bit. So this block, the writing part, is 6.25 by 1 inch. And I'm going to back up here because I've actually just ran Nameit. I'm going to get rid of all these. So all I did, and this is, I love this product. I typed in the word title in all capital letters. I used the customer's font they wanted at 17 points. I typed in the word name at 25 points. It's centered, and here's a pretty important thing, to center justify it. And that way, when it replaces that name, it's going to replace it from the center outward. So the long names will still be in the center. And that's pretty much all you have to do to set up. So I just made one copy. Well, let me back up here. I did create a contour hairline just inside the page, because the laser, if you set your home here, the laser is not going to run these two lines if it's on the line, because it's thinking it's going to hit the rulers. So I contoured in just a little bit. And then that way, when you leave your lid open, if you're fortunate enough to have a red dot pointer, I could trace to make sure I'm fitting all in the block of wood correctly in the center. And then all you've got to do 70 names and 70 titles, and I'm pretty sure Batch It would do it, and you could do both of them, but I've just used Nameit. So I brought in a CVS file, and a CVS file can be saved in Excel, or it can be saved in Lotus 123, which I use. The customer sent it in an Excel, and I was able to copy it over and just make 2 copies. And I put name up top of the row with the names, and I put title on top of the. So you load the file, and I type in name as the target off this, and replace it with the name or basically this is the target of Corel. This is what they want it replaced with, and I hit go. And in that quick of time, it put all the names correctly, and then you go to this, type in title. Now the only thing I've learned, you have to use all capitals. You don't have to, but if you type in capitals in your Lotus or your Excel, you have to. Can't talk and spell. And so my target is title, my replacement is title, and I hit go, and I'm pretty sure that's what Batch It does. But in that quick of a time, with 2 clicks of a mouse, I correctly put the title that they want on the trophy and their name. And if you just check, because you started out with a certain font at 17, we still have that same font. We started out at 25. They're center justified. And what I did, then you just group it together, Control G, run that job, and just move it out of the way. Now you could probably group all these together before you name it, but I'm going to go Control G and hit P and put it in the center of the page, and it's ready to run the next job. The hardest part of this whole job was making sure you don't run one twice. So if you start with a fresh day of the laser, your job 1 will be the outline to make sure you're there. Job 2 will be this one. Job 3 is this one. Move it out of the way. group this together so it does not change, and hit P, run that job. So this is job 2, 3, 4. And just keep in mind when you run your laser that you need to make sure you're on job, the next one will be job 4, or this one was actually job 5. That's the hardest part about doing it this way. Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, why don't you use print merge, make multiple pages? When you're only running one plaque at a time, and people that think, and I might be 100% wrong, people go, well, you could have made 3 or 4 across here. Well, that's true, but then you got a lot of dead space and your margin of error is a lot greater. And I do tape down the jig so it won't move. But if you just happen to move the jig and you were off on 1, you're going to be off on 3 or 4 or 5 or 12. How many of you ever put in a bed? This is not going to take any more time. It's probably actually faster because you've got to load them one at a time. But all it is opening the door and slipping that in, taking the old one out. So give Laser Jumpstart a consideration. I mean, they make laser materials and Ceramark, and I have Box It and Flex It. I've got Frame It. I don't have Art Welder, and I don't have One Touch Photo because I use another product, but Nameit for $169. I guarantee I'd save that much time today. Anyway, hope that helped a little bit. Thank you for watching.